on your own, and then we'll do them together or whatever. Hey, Delaney, we're doing chapter 1 review. On Friday, we filled this guy in. Make sure you have him ready to go because we will use him on your test. Okay? He's kind of a mess, actually. All right, here we go. Identify which type of sampling is used. You guys have a word bank for this, basically, by that review sheet, so if you want to have him handy so you can look at this. Otherwise, there's multiple choice there for you. To avoid working late, a quality control analyst simply inspects the first 100 items produced in a day. Now, that is not every 100th item, right? Like systematic would be like every 100th item. That's not every 100th item. It's just saying the first 100 items, and we're just going to check them. And if those are good to go, the rest of them are good to go. Do you see how that could maybe be a problem? Maybe the assembly line or the factory breaks down on the 101st item, and then everything after that is broken. But we wouldn't know because we only tested the first 100, right? So which type of sampling method would that be? I would say that's very convenient because he's getting ready to go home. So part D is what or answer choice D is what I would choose. Okay? Determine whether the given values form a discrete or continuous. What's discrete mean? Finite or countable. Continuous is going to be decimals. The time it takes for a computer to complete a task. Time. Is that finite countable or is it like a decimal? We could go to the nearest second or the nearest millisecond, or we could keep going decimals on further from that. I'm going to say that is continuous, B. Not because it continues on forever, right? But because the continual intervals of time would be smaller and smaller and smaller. All right. On a test, 74% of the questions are answered correctly. If 111 questions are correct, how many questions are on the test? Ooh. That's the only one that makes sense. You don't even have to do the math. That's the only one that makes sense, right? 74% is the 111, right? But there's some people that will take 111 and not read the thing, and they'll take it times 0.74, but that's not true, right? 74, this is not right. It's 74% of a number, let's call it n, is equal to 111, right? And so if you're going to actually calculate that out, how would you solve for n? Divide by 0.74, right? If you take 111 and divide by 0.74, you might get something close to 150, right? Okay, so D. Make sense? That's the only one that even makes sense because all the rest of them are less than that, right? They're less than 111 to begin with, right? So make sure you're reading that question correctly. 74% is the 111, not 74 of the 111, okay? All right, what type of data values are quantitative and the number of values is finite or countable? Discrete, finite, countable. Yeah, categorical is not quantitative. The only ones that make sense are discrete, continuous. I guess the interval is a quantitative value, but finite, countable has to be a discrete, okay? A blank is the collection of data from every member of the population. A census, they do like the U.S. Census, right? That's every single member of the population. Got it? Okay, 4 levels of measurement that are commonly used for classifying data are ratio and then blah, blah, blah. What? C? Nominal, ordinal, interval? Okay, what makes A wrong? Categorical is not a subcategory or subclass. Nominal, ordinal, interval. Oh, no, this one says normal, ordinal, interval. Normal is not one. Interval, normal, ordinary. Normal is not right, and ordinary is not right. So it has to be C. Yeah? Okay, now question. If we'd go that route, we had ratio, and then we had then we had nominal, ordinal, interval. Okay, which ones of those are quantities? And which ones are categories? Ratio is a quantity. What else is a quantity? Interval is a quantity, right? Interval does this, ratio does this, right? Nominal, ordinal, those are categories. Nominal is names, ordinal has order, right? Okay, so those are the difference between those 4. Quantities versus categories. Yeah? Okay, 7. Identify which type of sample is used. A pollster uses a computer to generate 500 random numbers, then interviews the voters corresponding to those numbers. Do they have the option to turn it down? I don't think so. It's not like a convenient sample where you can just say click. You can't. You have to answer. Okay? Which one is this? I'm going to say E, random sample. Yeah, that's about as random as it gets. You have somebody generate who you're going to contact, and then they have no choice. They have to answer your question, right? Okay? 8, determine which of the 4 levels of measurement is most appropriate. Students' grades of A, B, or C on a test. Okay, first and foremost, is that quantity or category? It's a category, right? Okay, and if it's a category, it's not interval and it's not ratio. So it's either ordinal or nominal. Which one? Is there an order to them? Yeah, there's a preferred order, A, B, C. So say B. That helps me narrow it down from 4 choices to 2 choices, right? Okay, that's what I would do. Are we doing okay? Do you want to do some of this on your own, or are we doing all right going through this? Okay, all right. 9, in a survey at a particular college in Nebraska, the students were grouped according to major, and all of the math majors and all of the science majors were selected for the sample. So we've got math, we've got science, we've got English majors, we've got history majors, we've got accounting majors, right? And we don't care about these 3. We're only doing this one and this one, but we're doing all of them. Which one is that? Those are clusters, right? There's stratified and then there's cluster. Stratified is like 10 from each. Cluster is like the whole group. So E. Yeah? Okay, determine which level of measurement is appropriate. Cost of a pair of shoes. Okay, is cost quantitative or categorical? Cost. Cost is a quantity, right? So it's not, which ones? It's not nominal and it's not ordinal. It's either interval or it's ratio. Okay, ratio does this, interval does this. We're talking about cost, money. Starts at 0, it's ratio, D. Yeah? You see like that thought process as we're going through there to narrow it down? That makes it way easier. If you go from four options down to 2, then it's just way easier from there. Okay? All right, 11. Determine whether the given value is a statistic or a parameter. What's the difference?
Statistic is sample, parameter is population.
Yep, parameter is a population. All right, so after taking the first exam, 15 of the students dropped the class. I'm going to say parameter because you're talking about like 15 out of the whole group, right? You're talking a whole group. I'm going to say parameter. Anybody else want to like think that that's a sample? That one was maybe a little hard to like differentiate because you could say like the population would be like every student taking a test ever, but I'm going to say it's those people that are taking that first exam is going to be the population, and 15 of those dropped the class. So, yeah, that's what I would say, parameter. Good? 12. How many do we have left? Whoa! Determine whether the given description corresponds to an observational study or an experiment. A doctor gives a new medication to half of its patients with the flu and a placebo to the other half. Bleh. Experiment. That one's too easy. Okay, because I'm doing something to them, right? Doing something. 38% of adults in the U.S. regularly visit a doctor. Ooh, that's not very many. That's not even half. 38%. This conclusion was reached by a college student after she had questioned 520 randomly selected members of her college. What is wrong with her conclusion?
For college, 520 isn't enough to draw a conclusion for the whole United States adults.
Correct. But also, college students do not equal all adults. Do you think that number would be higher or lower if we consider all adults? Do you think it'd be higher if we do like the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds?
Adult and what's elderly?
Adults would be anybody 18 years and older.
Okay, 'cause, like, if you
So like college students would be anybody like 18 to 20, we'll go 24 because sometimes you have some people in the masters. Now you do have some non-traditional students that are like 30 years old that are coming back to college, but not many. Most of them are going to be 18 to 24 years old. Actually, most of them are probably 18 to 22, right? If they're doing a 4-year degree, okay? All adults would be 18 to 100 years old.
Because the older half of that is going to be older.
Yeah, the older half are gonna probably go to the doctor more often. You are gonna get some of those like my dad's generation who don't ever go to the doctor. But even like my dad's age, like they've started kind of like maybe I should take my health seriously and go to the doctor. Like I've seen my dad go to the doctor like twice in the last 5 years. I was like, whoa. And it was all for like checkups and stuff. And I'm like, okay, good for you. Like, I'm glad. Thank you. Take your health seriously. One of them was after his brother like almost had a heart attack. Like he had a huge blockage in an artery. And so my dad was like, let's go to the doctor. So I think they're kind of like more going toward the, yes, we need to go to the doctor. So I would guess that this 38% would be a little bit higher if we do this group and not this group. So college students do not give a good indication of everybody in the entire population of all adults, right? Okay, this study is not bad, but don't say of adults, say of college students, right? Like, let's switch that, and then this would be correct, right? Okay, if we change the wording on it. But college students, not a good indicator of all adults. Good. 14. Explain why using self-reported data instead of measured data or observed data is a potential pitfall in data collection. Be sure to include examples. Okay? You can lie. What else?
Feel strongly one way or the other. Usually
Right. Strong opinion. I got one of these this weekend. Where's my phone at? I'll share this with you. Right here. I didn't answer it. I got two calls from Atlanta, Georgia within 30 minutes while we were at the state fair. And one of them left a voicemail, and here's what it said. I'll read it to you. Atlanta, Georgia. I have no idea. Hello, I'm calling on behalf of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. We are conducting the National Immunization Survey nationwide about childhood immunizations. Would you please call us at this number to let us know whether or not there are any children between 6 months and 17 years old living or staying in the household at this number? Thank you. No. They want to know if I immunize my children, which is a hot topic right now. I don't know, like maybe you guys don't get into that because you don't have any children yet, but like huge big debate, like pro-vax, anti-vax. Like there's a huge movement right now. And who's going to call them back? The pro-vax or the strong pro-anti-vax. Those are going to be the opinions that they get. 100%. Okay? Like I kind of am, I won't tell you which side I'm on. You go probably can guess. But like here's the middle, like don't care. I'm like about over here, but I'm not in the threshold enough to like waste my time on the phone because I'm not going to change their opinion. Like if I voice my opinion to them, you know, like I'm not pushed beyond there. Okay. So strong opinion. Those are going to be the people that you're going to get. Okay. And they're going to sit and try to fight with them all day long, like to convince them one way or the other. What else? I'm going to go back to this can lie. Don't know, right? Like if I ask Jack, like, how much does Jack weigh? He's going to be like, I can get you the nearest 5 pounds, but I can't tell you exactly to the decimal what I weigh at this point in time, right? Even if you weighed yourself this morning, you're drinking something right now, that's going to add, I don't know how much to you, right? Whatever. Like, it's not going to be exactly. So he doesn't know exactly what he is. He could guess, right? But, like, that goes in the kind of can lie section, right? Maybe they're not trying to lie. Maybe they just don't know exactly what it is, right? So they're just going to put a number down, okay? What else? Anything else? I don't know. Explain why self-reported data is a potential pitfall in data collection. I'm going to also say different scales. Last thing. Different scales. Okay, so if I self-report and I say, I want you guys to tell me what your height is. Even if you did measure your height, rounded to the nearest inch, what just happened? Penny. Why are you trying to get onto my MacBook, Penny? Or my computer, Penny. Let me go back. Whatever. Rem rounded to the nearest inch. Jace rounded to the nearest half inch. Ably rounded to the nearest quarter inch, right? Okay, so maybe they all use different scales. Maybe somebody did to the nearest centimeter. I don't know, right? Maybe we're all doing different scales. So that's another example why we want to measure it, is because then everybody's all on the same page. Got it? Good? Okay, last one, explain the difference between stratified and cluster. These are the two that are like the closest to each other. Stratified versus cluster. Stratified is strata, right? So I'm going to separate up boys and girls. Let's do boys over here and girls over here. Okay, those are two different strata that are kind of like already ready to go for me. Boys, girls. Boys, girls. Okay, what's the difference between stratified and cluster?
Stratified, you test a small sample from every group.
So let's do 50 boys and 50 girls. Okay? Cluster, we don't care about the boys. We're going to do all the girls. We're going to get all the girls' opinions, right? Good? Okay, let's talk about problems with this. What's the problem with this? What's the good thing about this? Let's do pros and cons. Okay, pros, even amount. Even amount. Cons?
Not necessarily proportional.
Yeah, not proportionate. Maybe we have more boys than girls and they're getting represented equally and the boys are like, what the heck? They get the same number of votes as us, but there's more of us. Like, we should get more votes, right? Not proportionate. Okay? All right, what about this one? Pros and cons. Pros?
Could be a larger sample.
Yeah, could be a larger sample. And I'm going to say maybe easier. Okay, because if these are in like different, like towns, let's say, I only have to go to one town, right? Okay, so that one's easier. Cons?
You're ignoring the whole group.
Ignoring a whole group. Okay, how about that? Good? Are we feeling good? I'm feeling pretty good about this. Yeah? Okay, all right. Anything else before I stop? I'll play this back for you here in just a second, Kellen, and you can watch
Are we
it.
turning this
No, keep it. And you can look at it if by chance you want to study for this test, okay? Test tomorrow. We'll start chapter, whatever the next chapter is, 2 on Thursday. I'm all screwed up because today's Monday, but it's not, right? All right, goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.